Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm going to go live again, because I enjoy going live. Okay, so what are we doing? We are going to, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go with a bang. We're going to go with a bang. So I had a question about how do you do fractions on the abacus? Well, if you notice, fractions is just another way of dividing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this. Ooh, that's going to be like, hey, good morning. So I'm going to rewrite this. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some division on the abacus. So how do you do division on the abacus? Well, let's rewrite this. This is my fraction. So if this is my fraction, I'm going to do 5 divided by 85 divided by 5, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my starting point. So I have 1, 2, and then I minus, right? So 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So I'm going to add it. I'm going to have my answer here. I'm going to put 85. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out, well, what times 5 is equal to 8 or less? So 5 times 1 is equal to 5. So all I got to do is take away the 5 and take away the 1. So there's my 1. So I take away the 5 minus the 5, right? So what am I left with? I'm left with 3. I'm sorry, what am I left with? Well, who's bigger? Ooh, who's bigger? The 5 is bigger. So if the 5 is bigger, I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to say, well, what times 5 is equal to 35 or less? 35 or less is 7. So my answer is 7. And that's my answer. So you can do fractions on the abacus. My bad. I take that back. So, hi everybody. Good morning, good morning, morning. I was just in the middle of trying to figure out how to do fractions on the abacus. And so you can do fractions on the abacus. But the first thing we need to do is we need to understand, how do we read the abacus? Some of you will be like, wait a minute, what is this crazy thing? This crazy thing is a counting tool. Hey, good morning everybody. Good morning, Brian and Hearts and Dr. Professor and Dan. Good morning. So what are we doing? We are talking about the abacus. The abacus is a counting tool. This counting tool helps me count. It helps me add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So what I just did was I just did some multiplication, so I did some division, and we could talk about that later after we figure out how do we read this crazy thing. Thank you so much for the hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, let's get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Well, it's this horizontal bar. This horizontal bar tells me that this is counted. These beads are counted because of the horizontal bar. Because I have a horizontal bar, good morning. I saw math and I dropped in. Yay! Yeah, we're just counting. We're just doing something simple. Yeah, this is way too easy. Because it's simple to use and easy to understand. Why? Because we have the horizontal bar. With the horizontal bar, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I know I have 4. So after we have 4, we know we have 4. Not a problem, right? Not a problem. So then we're like wondering, what do we do with 5? What's going on? The world is falling. No, the world's not falling because 5 is this top beat, and this top beat always. Hey, Ethan, how's it going? Okay, so good morning, good morning. Hey, Brunbree, and wow, there's a few. Okay, Matthew and DC123 and Foursquare. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. We are talking about 5. Why are we talking about 5? Well, we want to know what the 5 is. The 5 just means the top beat. That's all that means. And I'm hoping that everybody can see. I play around with my camera a lot. Okay, so we have 5. So then after 5, we have 6. How do I know that this is 6? Because all the beads underneath the horizontal bar will always have the value of 1, no matter what. So this is 1, this is 1, this is 1, this is 1. So we know what 5 plus 4 is. 5 plus 4 is 9. So the whole thing is 9. Every column that we see will always be 9. So this is 9, this is 9, this is 9, this is 9, and then this is 9. Whoa, that's not 9, that's 9. Make sense? Everybody okay? Thank you so much for sharing my live. Migdalia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much. Okay, keep going. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so what we're still doing is we're still understanding how to read the abacus. Why? Because it's simple to use and easy to understand. So some people, as they come in, we're looking at it like, wait a minute. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4. This is also 4, but that's actually 40. How is it 40? Because it's a 4 and a 0. So then we have 9 and a 0. So what's 90? 90 is 90, right? So everybody in the chat, let me know what number you think this is. If we have our 1s, we have our 10s, we have our 100s, what number, please put in the chat what number you think this is. So then our top beat will always be 5. So if we have our top beat as 5, and we have the bottom beat as 1, 16. Oh, Ethan, no, because we forgot the 1s. So we have the 1s, the 10s, and the 100s. So we have 160. We have to remember 11. Almost, Kay. with the squiggly line? Almost, because we have to remember that there's a top bead. This top bead will be a value of 5. So we are going to be counting. So we have 1, 6, 0. The dot, it means, yes, hearts. Thank you, Ethan. So, yes, because why? Because if you notice, I have this dot right here. This dot means that it's going to be my ones place. Thank you so much for the follow. So, the ones place. So you notice there's another dot here. It doesn't matter which dot, as long as you deem one of them, right? You could be in the middle. Somebody had a question. Can we start in the middle? You could, but let's say I'm like in the middle of a math problem and this is super cool math problem. And then I'm like, oh, I'm really thirsty. I'm going to walk away and go get and then I come back and I'm like, oh no, I don't remember if I did 16 or if I did 60. So the reason why I use the dot is to help me label that the dot is the ones place. So I usually start from either ones. I use the dot in the middle. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's what it means. So if we keep looking at it, right? And I had this number, and then they're like, okay, well, why is there so many dots? Well, if you notice, just as we write, let me see my paper. Where's my paper? Just as we write thousands, right? So if I did this, 4,528, we have this comma. This comma, thank you so much for sharing my life. Okay. Thank you, hearts, for Sim. Okay, so this one is so remember there's a comma here. That's what the dot is for. Oh my goodness. I think it's because of the contrast between the numbers. Okay, so what does that look like? I have 4,528. So notice my dots kind of line up to the way we write. So now, what happens to these ones? Hey, 55, thank you for follow. So what about these ones? Well, that's where the decimal comes in. So if we were talking about, let's say, money, right, easy to talk about, we can do 35 cents. So that's what this means. So now we have a full range of our columns. We have our decimal, which is between the ones and the tenths, and then we have our dot here, which tells me that this is our thousands. Does that make sense? Are we okay with that? Everybody understand? So this is how we read the abacus. We have 4,528. And then we have 35. I'm going to say cents, right? So let's say we're talking about money because, we all like to talk about money. No, not, you know what I mean? Like, it's nice to have. So just like it's just easy to also relate, right? Because we do decimals in our daily life. And so, that's how the abacus came about. The abacus came about like talking about, changing hands and changing product and so forth. So that's what this is. Anybody have any questions? Thank you for the follow. Hey, Jerry. Thank you. I've been waiting my whole life to learn how to use the abacus. Okay. I actually didn't learn the abacus when I was young. I will let you know too. I didn't learn the abacus when I was young. I was probably about, 30, 32 when I learned the abacus. And it's simple to use, right? Simple to use because it's not very difficult to move the beads. And it's easy to understand because we can count 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. We have to make sure that all the beads are touching the beam, right? All the beads are touching this horizontal bar. So this is 4. That's all it is. That's 4. So then we have 5, and then we have 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9, and then this would be 19. And really, you guys are so funny. Are you guys serious, or are you guys just like joshing me? I'm so old. Are you guys really? I want to teach my little kid. Oh, yeah. This is the greatest thing. This is the greatest thing next to sliced bread. So what I did was I was on this mission. Is it a mission? It's a journey. It's actually a journey. I've been teaching abacus for more than 20 years. And I was like, you know what? And I have a learning center out in Monterey Park. I'm in Southern California. I had no idea. I know, right? I didn't have an idea when I was like learning abacus. So when I was learning abacus, I was like, why are we learning abacus? My dad forced me to learn abacus, and I was like already old. I'm like, this is baby stuff. What is this? So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How do I know? Because these are touching the beads, right? In the East, I earned the Eastern way for arithmetics. So what about the type of the double beads? Oh, the double beads. That's what you call the Chinese abacus. So clay, that's the Chinese abacus. This Chinese abacus. So this is a Japanese abacus. And this is a Chinese abacus. Now, what's the difference? Well, Japanese, what they always do is they make everything more efficient. Yes, a suopan. Okay, so the double beads on top of the line, same thing, but Chinese is a little bit, it's a little bit redundant. So we count it, right? Let's count. Let's count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have that. Hopefully it's not completely burned out. Okay, so then we have 5. Not a problem. We have 5, right? Makes sense, right? It's not a problem. But now the question is this is 5, but this is also 5. So now we have 2 ways to learn, 2 ways to remember what 5 is. Okay, that's fine. But then it gets kind of like, okay, so we have 6. We still need to do 6. So that's 6. There's 7, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9, and 9. Now remember, on the Japanese abacus, on this abacus over here, we still use the place values. So we have the 1s and our 10s. We know this, right? We know that these are our 1s or our 10s. We can keep going, right? So, but now it starts to break here. It starts to break convention. Now it goes to be, I've been jealous my whole life about how people in China solve multiplications doing matrix. Ha ha ha. So this now breaks the concept of what we're doing with our place values, because now this is 10. But now there's 3 ways to do it. This is 10, this is 10, or this is 10. So it's a little bit more confusing, because now you're going to have to remember which way is 10. And you can move the beads just like, but it just gets confusing. It can get confusing really quick, because when you get a lot of numbers, you got to remember to like move the beads. So would I recommend it? You don't see a lot of Chinese abacus competitions, but you do see Japanese abacus competitions. So that's how we do it. If you have a Chinese abacus, you could convert it into a Japanese abacus. You would just have to ignore the top beads. You could do it. Not a problem. So there's 3 ways to put 10. Yes, Ethan. There's 3 ways to put a 10 on the Japanese abacus, Chinese abacus. But on the Japanese abacus, there's only one way. And this was the only way. This is the way. Right? That is the way. That is the way. So in the Japanese abacus, they made it more efficient. Right? In the Chinese abacus, if I did this, we could be like, okay, that's 10. But then don't forget, that's 10. And then this is 10. And so, like, to me, it's a little bit more confusing, because then we have to, like, kind of remember all these things. So, Clay, Cup, did that answer your question? Do you have any more questions? Do you have any specific questions about it? Hello! What do you like? What do you like? I like the Japanese abacus. I like the Japanese abacus the most, just because it's more efficient and I don't have to think so much. Because on the Chinese abacus, there's a lot. There's a little bit of thinking, and then depending on how old your children is, right? I would use this one, because I think the colors are nice, and then you can graduate them. You can graduate them to a 13 column one. So this one's 13 columns, and the reason why I'd say graduate, because they want to feel big and old, right? We always want to feel like we're not, right? So this one, there's a 13 column abacus. This is only 7 columns, but it gets a little overwhelming, and I think the colors gets a little bit much when you start getting into bigger numbers, because when you get to the bigger numbers, is 27, the 27 column, 27 is really long. This one's 23, and this one's like super long. 27, is it good for beginners? You could, it depends on what your goal is. 27 is fine. Do I recommend it? Yeah. When I learned it, then again, in the market, the only thing that was available was the 27 one. So you could do the 27 one, and it's the same thing. It's the same concept. Everything's all the same. It works exactly the same, right? So you have your top bead, right? In the 27 one, the longer one, this is the longer one, I would use the middle, right? I don't understand, but I'd like to learn for my child. Do you sell these? I sell this one on my website. I can't figure out how to do it on TikTok Shop. I want to, but I can't figure it out. But I do sell also the books too. So going back to this, so it works the same. You have your dots, right? And you notice this one has a dot, and then these dots tells me my separation, right? My separate groups. So my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands. Yeah. All I see is just user 5503. I don't see your name. So that's why I'm like, great. Okay. So I'm going to continue on with understanding how to read the abacus. And so then it's all the same, right? So I have my top bead and top bead, right? When I would talk to children, I would talk about the top bead. I don't say about blue bead or green bead or so forth. I want them to see the beads that are being moved, I want to see the beads being moved. So the question is, do you do step-by-step videos I can share with my son? I do. Oh, hey, Ruby. I'm not going to remember your numbers, Ruby, but I will, yes. Yes, I do. I actually have an online class that goes through the workbook. So I have a workbook that this is also available on my online class, and they're all pre-recorded videos. They're less than 5 minutes, and I go through each of the videos, each of the worksheets that I have, and it goes all the way to adding and subtracting, and we're going to go to multiplication, division. So this one was, how old is your child? 55, just to get an idea, because it depends on, if they already know their numbers, then they don't need to do like how do you count forward and how do you count backwards. So what I do is I put them into something that goes straight into adding and subtracting, but they just need to understand how to read the abacus. So as they understand how to read the abacus, she's 4. Oh, okay, so you know what? The preschool one would be better, because then we start talking about how to count forward and how to count backwards, and what comes in between. And so it's a little bit more like, a number relationship. But I go through the video. I'm trying to readjust. So, and then, but this is all available to you, or you can buy the book. This book is available on Amazon. But yeah, and then from here, and then after she understands how to move the beads, she gets an idea. Like, I have a student that's 4 now, and we're going through understanding how to read, and now we're going into how to do adding and subtracting. So he's 4 and he's starting to learn how to add and subtract. So any teenagers ones? Oh, there's a book. Yeah, there's a book. Yeah. Any teenagers one for abacus for teenagers? Not yet. I'm still working on the process of like what numbers I'm going to put in and what questions, because the questions are very specific. The questions are very specific because there's a pattern in abacus. We don't just have like random numbers. You could use like some textbook and stuff, but you have to be careful with the numbers that you're seeing, because sometimes and sometimes it depends on where you are on the understanding the formulas. So let me get into like how to add. So the reason why we would start this is because I want them to know how to add the add-in, right? So what we're doing is we're adding here. So I have 7 here. So if I have 7, I'm going to clear my abacus. I'm going to add 7. So when I add 7, okay, I'm going to add 7. This is 7. I'm over here. Too many fingers, I know. Too many fingers. So 5, 6, 7. So when you count it, yeah. And then we want to add the 1. So we're going to add the 1 bead. And that's it. That's all we're doing, right? Because the reason why is we want to move the bead. We want to know that this is what it looks like. When we look at it, we want to make sure, right? Thank you so much for the follows. And yes, thank you so much for the follows. So my answer is 8. So then again, it goes into bead recognition, right? Understanding that this is 8. So why are we doing this? We did the 1, right? After the 1, we do 2. So the idea is to understand the different scenarios of the numbers. Now, there was a video that I came across, and they were like, and they're very focused on the result. But in abacus, we're not focused on the result. We're focused on the process. Oh, so continuing on. So the idea is that this is a little puzzle. They answer the puzzle, and then they find the number. They find the answer on the puzzle piece. So I've tried to make it a little interactive and a little like cutting and pasting, because I was thinking about the kids that are small. All of the abacus books, except for mine, all focus on children that are 5 and above. So that means that they already know their numbers. But I wanted to get to like earlier, because I noticed that we should start them in the beginning. Why don't we start them from the beginning? So when your child goes through it's a lot about just bead recognition, understanding the numbers, right? So this one was like finding the abacus. And so we have the abacus, right? And the idea was to relate the picture to the number to what it looks like. So the key is to actually, purchase an abacus. And I do sell it on my website. My link is in the bio if you wanted to follow and follow along. But I do have this. So then the question they were focused on the answer, and I'm still in the process of like trying to explain what we're trying to do. So the video that I was watching, it was super simple, right? The question was like 5 plus 3, And they're like, yeah, it's 8. And I'm like, oh, okay. But again, we don't focus on it. So on the abacus, this is what 5, and then we add the 3. Is there enough to add the 3? Don't preschool know numbers too, though? No, they don't. 3-year-olds don't know preschool. Does the book come with the abacus? No, the class comes with the abacus. So I have a class that's like $20 a month, and it's all of the videos, and you will have the worksheets available, but not the book. The book is from Amazon. So, but the worksheets, you can download all the worksheets. I do have that available. So, so they were focused on this. So then again, so that's how we do 8. We have 7 plus 1. That was the next question. So if we look, 7, and then we add the 1. Okay, if we notice, there are different beads, right? We have the 5 and then 3 beads. And then we have 7 and then the 1 bead. But again, the video was very focused on the result. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Then their final question was 4 plus 4. Now we're getting into some problems. Why? Because on the abacus, we don't learn our doubles. We don't do doubles plus 1. We don't do doubles plus 2. What we learn is we learn our add-in. This is what we learn. We learn our add-in. Right, sorry. And so if you notice, we have 4. I'm going to do here. So we have 4. Now the question is we need to add another 4. There's not enough beads to add the 4. So thank you so much, Ethan. So what's going to happen is we're going to utilize this concept that we're teaching children in school. We're teaching how to make a 5. To make a 5, this is what it is. This is what we're teaching the kids. So what we're doing is we're actually utilizing information. And that's why Abacus is so interesting, because it does relate to mainstream math. So the other way they do it is 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. This is all they teach us in mainstream school, like public school, whatever, right? Private school, any of the school, or even unschooling, even the textbooks, right? We're teaching the children how to make a 5. Abacus takes it one step further. How does it take it one step further? Well, in Abacus, what we do is we're going to isolate this variable, and we're going to utilize this 4. We're going to utilize the 4, and we're going to introduce this 5. We're going to add the 5, and we're going to take away the 1. So we're going to move this 1 over here. Now, this is later on, 55. This is late. Hey, Bone Thugs and Harmony, welcome back. Good morning. So, again, this is after they do the preschool. So now we're going into a little bit higher math. This is after they understand the preschool one. After they understand preschool, then they start going into how to make a 5. So I just want to let you know that now, like, we're moving on fast. Like, we're going super, like Speedy Gonzalez, we're going super fast, right? So this is because this is an idea, like, why does Abacus relate to mainstream math? I'm just so we have an understanding, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to rearrange it. We're going to make it to what we use. So in Abacus, we say 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus the 1. Why are we going to do that? Because if you notice, when we added the 4, I have no more beads to add 4 because I'm doing 4, right? I have no more beads. So we have a formula that we need to memorize. All the kids, everybody and their grandmother needs to memorize this formula for Abacus. Gru, the destroyer, welcome. So what does that mean? So now I have plus the 5 is equal, 4. I want to add the 4. I'm going to substitute this information into here, just as Ethan mentioned, right? Plus the 5. I want to plus the 5, and I want to take away the 1. So I'm going to plus the 5, take away the 1. Right, Jerry? That's it. Woo! That's it. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know your doubles plus 1. You don't need to know your doubles minus 1, right? What you need to know is your formula. This is the formula that we have to remember. Now, let's take it a step further, right? Let's take it a step further. Let's do 2. Let me figure this out. We do 2. So in here, okay, so let's take it one step further. We do 2. So we do 2. We don't have 4. What are we going to do with 4? So again, our formula is plus the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. So we do plus the 5 minus the 1. And we go like this. That's it. That's it. So my answer is 6. But again, I didn't have to remember my doubles. I didn't have to remember doubles plus 1. But what I did have to remember is my formula. When I did it, when I know my formulas, then I can go, then it's very versatile. And because you know this specific formula, it can fit anywhere. And it goes further in than just like simple numbers like this. It can go like longer digits. But for right now, because we're still learning, right, Jerry? Super easy. Easy to use. No, simple to use, easy to understand. You just need to understand it. Right? Makes sense? Okay. Thank you for the follow, Dylan. Okay. So here, why do we have these cats in a tree? I was wondering where you got the super large teaching abacus. So the super large, I have two. This is the super large one. This is a teacher abacus. There was a we got it. Why am I okay? We have been in business for 20 plus years. So Bone Thugs and Harmony, if you want to visit me, I'm in Monterey Park. You can find me at AMA Learning Center. We're off of Garvey and New, like in the San Gabriel Valley. So I got it. We got it from Japan, and this was like super old. This is a super old one, and it was and they're pretty. They're about a couple of $100. But yeah, and this is what we use in the school. This is a shorter one. And the one that we have at the school is a lot bigger. But I didn't want to take that one home because it would be heavy to hold. I want to have for your Ethan, your mind is blown, Jerry. Yeah, right. So I want to add a teacher abacus in my abacus collection. You're so funny, Ethan. Yeah, so Bone Thugs and Harmony, I'm hoping that, it'd be great if you want to stop on by. We're only open, before I forget, we're only open on the weekends because, we're only open on the weekends. But yeah, you'll meet my brother, you'll meet my family, my sister-in-law is over there, and we have some teachers, and we do in person as well. But I do, but I'm trying to go more towards online. So the kids. Now, the reason why we have cats in the tree, because the kids are still young and they didn't understand, like, why are we doing +5? So in order for them to remember, right, what I did was I had a little story. What I did was, the question is let's do the next one. So we have 3 and then +4, right? We want to add the 4. Is there enough to add the 4? No. So I'm going to go to the cats in the tree. There's always going to be 5 cats in this tree. So we go to the 5 cats in the tree. I'm going to add the 5 cats because I walk to the tree, right? I walk to the tree. I grab 4 cats. I'm going to grab 4 cats, and then 1 cat runs away. So 1 cat runs away. And I noticed that really helps the kids to remember what we were trying to do. We're going to plus the 5 minus the 1, right? So because we know this, now we can do the inverse, right? What is the inverse? The inverse is -4 is equal to -5 plus the 1. So just as we did plus the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1, we now know the inverse. There is no inverse for doubles. That concept, learning the doubles, right? What will you do if the kids is sad because the cat runs away? The cats will always run away. No matter what. I mean, cats will always run away. They don't like being touched. So kids don't get sad that cats run away because that's what cats do. So going back to here. Now, remember I was talking about the doubles plus 1? So doubles plus 1, right? Or doubles minus 1? Well, notice with this concept, with this strategy, -1. With this strategy, there is no minus, right? But in Abacus, what we did is we learned our plus and then we do our minus. So why are we doing that? Well, just as we do 8, right? We have 8, and the question is -4, right? Now what we're doing is we're building our understanding on how to use the formula. We remember that minus the 4, right? We remember that plus the 5, right? Notice now you will see a pattern. It will go from here to here. So when we add the 4, it's like this. When we minus the 4, it's like this. That's the pattern. The pattern is plus the 5 minus the 1, plus the 4, right? So notice there's a pattern when we want to add the 4 and we want to minus the 4. Hey, Chelsea. Make sense? Are we okay? We're good? I don't know who else is here. I only see names, but I don't see a lot of names. But I just want to make sure everybody's okay. Everybody understand? Put 8 into the comments if you're still following. Make sense? Put 8 in the seal. See, hey. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah. Right. Hey, Ingressos. Welcome. Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, it's super simple to use. It's simple to use, easy to understand. And once you understand it, it would be like one of those things. So after the 5 was, then we know. After we understand the 5, then what do we do? What do we do? What's after 5? After 5 is how to make a 10. And again, we're showing kids how to make a 10. How do you make a 10? Well, what does that mean? Well, 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. That's it, right? So now what are we going to do? Well, the next thing, again, depending on your children and so forth and the process, the next step would be learning the plus 10s. And that's the fourth book. Okay, why are we going to do this? Well, it's the same thing. Because when we do a 9, let's do 9 plus 9. There's not enough beads to add the 9. The worst name. Aww. Welcome. Welcome, the worst name. Whew. Okay, Lady E, what time is it over there? I always want to know what time it is over there, Lady E, because it's so interesting that it's just, yeah. I don't memorize. So, anyways. So, when I add a 9. So, here's the question. 9 plus 9. Again, we don't know our doubles. We don't memorize our doubles. What are we going to do? Well, remember, we have this. This now is now the same concept as this, right? So 9 plus 1 is equal to 10 is the same concept as 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, right? Same concept. So what are we going to do? We're going to take this 1 and we'll move it over here. So what's going to happen? Oh, it's in the evening. Oh, just before dinner. Okay, I'm going to start remembering because as often as we come on I'm going to start remembering when dinner time is. So here, right? So I'm going to rewrite this question. I'm going to rewrite the equation. So we're going to do 9 is equal to plus the 10 minus 1. Why am I going to plus the 10? Well, this is where we do carrying on, right? We just say plus 10. The only reason why we want to plus 10 is we want to move to the next column over. That's all we're doing. We're only moving to the next column over, right? It doesn't matter. Just move the next column over. Add the 10. That means add the 1, right? That's what I did. I added the 1. And then now I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the 1. So notice when I add the 9, this is the pattern. Add the 10 plus the minus the 1. Minus the 1, add the 10, right? So this is the pattern that we're going to that we will notice very common when we start adding and subtracting. So here, just like this, we have a positive, we have the inverse. Minus 9 is equal to minus 10 plus 1. Does that make sense? Hey, Chelsea. And Eileen. I think I spelled your name right. I think I pronounced it right. Eileen. I see Jerry and Ethan and Lady E. And Distant first. And Rich. I don't know. Rich and Ink. All right. Does that make sense? So just like how we do, let's do another question. Let's do 17. Right? We're going to do 17 minus 9. So I want to take away the 9. Can I do? Yes, I will do 19 minus 7 in a little bit. Let me do 17 minus 9. So 17 minus 9. 17 minus 9. Again, I minus the 9. What do? I minus the 10. This 10 just means I go over here to the column, right? To the tens column. And I take away the 10. And then I add the 1. So then my answer is 18. Okay. So Ethan's question is 19 minus 7. All right. So 19 minus 7. Hey, E.T. Okay, 19 minus 7, right? Now again, how do we know how to, so in the comments, how do we make a 10? With the 7, how do we make a 10? 7 plus, I need to buy an abacus. Yeah, you can buy an abacus. Yeah, I like abacus. What are we going to do with our daily life? 3, right? Oh, thank you, Ethan. So how do we make a 10, right? So we need to know how to make a 10. So this is how we make a 10. So 7 plus 3. So what we're doing is, excuse me, we're going to take away this 7. When we take away the 7, again, what do? We're going to rearrange this to say 7 minus 3 equals minus 10. Why are we doing this? Because we're going to take it away. To take it away, we have to move this 3 over here. So it's 7 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 3. This is a formula that needs to be memorized. You have to memorize this formula. That's just it. You just got to memorize it. So we have 19 on the abacus. We have 19 on the abacus, right? I'm going to take away the 7. So what do? Minus the 7 is minus the 10. So I'm going to take away the 10, right? I'm going to do that. I'm going to take away the 10 because that's what it says here. Take away the 10. It just means the column over. Take away the 10 and then add the 3. No. It's 19. Take away 7. Is there enough beads? My question is there enough beads to take away 7? All I got to do is just take away 7. So I get a little confused. That's what it is. We don't even need this. This is nothing. We don't even need that. Why? Because there's enough beads. There's 19, and the question is, can I take away 7? Is that a trick question? You got me. You got me, Ethan. So all I got to do is take away 7. That's it. That's all I got to do. Take away 7. Because the question is, do I have enough? Hey, Aiden. Make sense? So, yeah. Sorry, I was in the process. I was in the realm of formulas. And that's what got me. That's what got me. So this is what, so we were doing formulas and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, 19, we have 19. I was too focused on your formula. Yeah, right? So the question always goes, is there enough? You have to ask, is there enough? And I forgot that question. I was too focused on the formula. So the question is there enough beads to take away the 7? Yes, there is. So there's my question. The question was, I asked the question while half asleep. Yeah, you need to go to sleep. It's like super late for you. So that's what that is. But then, obviously it's different when you do 17 minus 9, right? Because now we're dealing with, there's not enough beads. We got to go to the next one. Okay, so we can continue on. And I was thinking about this, like how to make, I was looking at my, where am I going? So here's another question. Here is another question. So we're continuing on, and I just wanted to, oh yeah, here it is. Ethan, you caught me. I don't know abacus, really. No, I do. I do know abacus. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to do back to the top. I'm confused. Okay, back to the top. Let's do it. Hey, Daisy, yes. Let's do it. Okay, we're going to go back to the top. You know what? Let me change my paper. It'll be easier. There we go. No, oh, you know what? I'll see you next time, Jerry. It was good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I'm live. I'm always live. Oh, yes. Awesome. Okay, Daisy, we're back to you. Daisy. Thank you so much for commenting, because if you never commented, I would never know. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to count on the abacus. Why? We're going to do is, just like everybody, we just need to understand. Have a good day, Jerry. What we need to do is we need to understand how to read the abacus. In order to read the abacus, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize this horizontal bar. This horizontal bar is what tells me that we're going to add we're going to count the numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, rude. Oh, that was rude. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so, oh, you're still here. Rude boy, Eric. That's funny. Okay, my 4th grade is watching with us. Woo! Hey! Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we need to understand how to read the abacus. When we read the abacus, we notice that there's not enough beats. There's just 4, right? But then where's 5? Okay, so 5 is over here. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Oh, if you want, Daisy, ask your 4th grader for some math questions and we could do it on the abacus. And we'll see how far we can get. Because we can also do multiplication and division. But you have to know your multiplication facts. Just so you know. You need to know your multiplication facts in order to multiply on the, hey kitty cat. We need to do multiplication, understand your multiplication facts on the abacus in order to do multiplication on the abacus. I just said that too many times. Okay. So now where's 10? 10. 10 is always going to be this one, the next column over. So if you notice, this would be 19, right? And then this would be 29. Just as we write 29, we read it on the abacus. So the relationship between abacus and how we write is very similar. So the question is, where were you when I was learning how to do this? I was learning. I drank grown-up juice, and how did I get and how to do this one night. Kitty cat, you're so funny. All right. Yeah, I don't know where this was. This is a super old thing to know. And it's so interesting. Like, it's not very common in America, but it's very common in the rest of the world. Thank you, Daisy, for the roses. Thank you so much. Okay, so Daisy, again, get your fourth grader, go to their math book and give me some questions and we can talk about it. So these are my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands. So now we're talking about place value. In the abacus, it's easy to see the place value. Why is this the ones? Because there's this label. Do you see there's a dot here? I don't know if you can see it, but there's a dot here. This is my label. My label tells me that I'm going to use this as my ones place. So this is my ones place. You could, if you wanted to, you could use this. I'm flexible, easygoing. Oh, 8. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we're going to do 88 plus 16. So are we ready to do some adding? We're okay? Are we understand? Daisy, yeah, Daisy, we're okay to start. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to start adding. Okay. There's a few steps, just so you know, Daisy. There's a few steps that needs to happen. One thing is to understand. Thank you for the follow, Daisy. There's one thing you need to understand. The first thing is can I add it? That's what we call simple. So step 1 is simple. Can we add it? That's one of the questions. The second question is, do I need to use how to make a 5? So, how to make a 5? How to make a 5? Easy, right? So ask your fourth grader, how do you make a 5? What are the 2 ways to make a 5? And put it in the comment. So I'm testing her out because I want to make sure we understand how do we make a 5. That's all we want to do right now is I'm just trying to lay down groundwork. So exactly 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. There's another way. What's another way? What's another way to do how to make a 5? Yes, exactly. 4 plus 1. Okay, 4 plus 1. That's how you make a 5. So this is step 2. Step 3. How do you make a 10? Easy, right? How do you make a 10? I want to make a 10 with a 6. How do you make a 10? 5 plus 5, yes. But how do you make a 10 with a 6? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Daisy. So 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. This is the groundwork we need, right? This is the groundwork. I'm pushing her forward, right? Because I'm assuming, your fourth grader, I'm assuming they know this, but we're going to take it one step further, right? What does that mean? We're going to take these number sentences up a notch. Now, what does that mean? We're going to start utilizing it, or we're going to start working with it, right? And I'm just so like, we're going to work with it. Okay, the question is 88. So I'm going to put 88 on the abacus. 88 on the abacus, right? This is my abacus. I have 88 because I have my ones and my tens, right? 88. Now, what I'm going to do on the abacus, we don't do ones first and their tens. What we do on the abacus is we do the number as a whole. So just as we read, we go from left to right, we read 1 and then 6. What does that mean? So I'm going to have my 1. So I have my 1. Now I had my 6. This is a little bit much because now we're going to start doing some 2-step equation. This is very critical. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the 6. We're going to add the 6 to here. Notice there's not enough beads to add the 6. So remember, this is a formula that you need to memorize. Remember, right here, we want to add the 6. This is the 6 I want to memorize. So I got to move this 4 over here. So I have my 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus 4. So what we just did is we isolated this variable. I'm going to dump this. Does that make sense? Are you following? 104. Hold on, Ethan. Does that make sense, Daisy? So right now what we did is we isolated this variable because now we're going to use it, right? So we're going to use it, but it's a little difficult because now we're doing multiple steps. So what do? We want to plus the 10. Notice when we plus the 10, there's not enough. What do? Remember, when we plus the 10, I want to isolate this variable. So now we're working with multiple formulas. These are all the formulas that we need to learn before we get to this part. So it's plus 1 is equal to plus 5 minus 4. Can I add the 5? No, right? So I'm going through my checklist. Can I add the 5? No. Can I add the 1? No. Can I add the 5? No. So now I have to make a 10. Okay. So what's another way to make a 10 with the 1? Plus 1 is equal to plus the 10 minus 9. That's another formula. So I plus the 10, take away the 9. So I'm taking away the 9, and I have to take away the 4. I'm laughing because this is a very complicated question for a very beginner. I want to minus the 4. Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. That was a really complicated question. So I'm going to plus the 4. Oh, there's my 1, right? And then I want to take away the 5 and then plus the 1. Yes, you're right, Ethan. 104 is my answer. Daisy, I don't know if you were able to follow. I don't know if I can go slower, but the problem is there's a lot of 2-step, 3-step equations here. And this is one of those questions that get really complicated really quick. Hey, is that a star? Yeah, that's a star. Hey, star, welcome. Did that make sense? How can you do 8 divided by 2? I know the answer is 4. I want to see the steps on the abacus. You just have to know it. Why do you go in the middle? Because I go in the middle. This is the middle because this is where I deemed this as my ones place. There's a dot. If you see there's a dot right here, this is why I added it. That's why I did it. Because then I have my decimals on this side and we can talk about money, right? So like it'd be $88.35. So this would be the decimals. Yeah. Hey, Nelson. Yeah. So Daisy, when should you make a math book? When? No, not when. It's going to come up. It will come up. I'm just trying to formulate my outline. So I'm going to have my introduction to Abacus it's coming. It's coming. Is it going to be this month? I don't know. That's pushing it. Because the question is, okay, here, Lady E, here's a question for you. For the older kids, do you think they would want something like this, or can I just tell them this? That's the other question, right? Like, how old is the kids that you're thinking about? Because I think, like, for teenagers, I can do this, not a problem. But I think for the younger kids, I think using the asteroids would still be the issue. What do you think? Just the formula. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So I would just have to make it look pretty and format it. So Ethan asks, can I do for all age abacus instead? I can't. Thank you so much for the roses, Daisy. I can, but I don't want a 4-year-old to just look at the formulas. They need to go through like some stories. So yeah, I was going to do that, but it's going to be still more picture based. So what I do like, this is my latest book, and I like the pictures. So I'd still be doing pictures like this to show you that I'm going to add the 10 and I'm going to take away the 9. And then I formulate it. And so what I do is I explain a little bit here, but the kids don't need to memorize this. This is for more adults. And the adults would just be like, oh, that's why we're doing it, kind of a thing. So I was explaining more here with more pictures and stuff. And then I'd have my sample questions. So, yeah. So let me see if I can get it. I was going to try to get one out. I was going to try to whip one out. I just got to figure out like the numbers. Because the problem is I have to set up the numbers. Can I do... Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, Daisy. Let's see how many plus... What is NR? No return. I don't know. I don't know what NR is. 7463. Wow, Ethan, you're very fast. Number. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I was gonna do two add-ins, and then I was gonna do three three add-ins, and then maybe I would do four, but it all depends because as the numbers get bigger, it gets a little kind of hairy. But yeah, I'm still trying to formulate the questions, because the questions need to be specific. As you notice, the questions need to be very specific when we learn. But yeah, I just got to figure out an outline. Okay. So the question is 74. So I'm adding 74, not a problem, right? We know how to make a 5, we know how to make a 10. Let's take it slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to plus the 6. Oh, this is a two-step equation. How do I know? Because I'm going to add the 6. Plus 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus 4. I'm going to plus the 10 first. So plus the 10. And I'm going to take away the 4. Okay, so I take away the 4. It's minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. So minus the 5 plus the 1. Okay, we're done with the 6. We don't need the 6 anymore. Right? We don't need the 6 anymore. So then we're adding the 3. Well, what do we do with the 3? Same thing. Plus 3 is equal to plus the 5 minus 2. So I plus the 5 and I minus the 2. So then my answer is 137. See, notice here, this thing right here, now we're doing carry over. So in Abacus, we actually introduced the concept of carrying over. We don't call it carrying over, but that's what we're doing, right? And that's what we're doing. We're carrying over. So we already naturally carry over. We also naturally borrow. So we can do the minus, right? Minus 6 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 4. Plus the 4. My answers are close. Oh, right. I don't know how you got 1. So again, because we know the plus, we know the inverse, right? We know the inverse. This thing right here, we're borrowing. So if that makes sense. So some of the questions you have is borrowing. So let's do the reverse of this. Let's do 137 take away 74. Now it gets more complicated because now there might be more 2 steps. So we're going to do it. 137, right? Take away, we're minusing. Take away 7. See, notice, oh yeah, okay. Notice, right? I'm only going to take away the 7. I don't go here and be like, okay, I got a 0. I don't do that. I'm looking at my number. This number, I want to take away 7. I need to take away 7 from here and here. Thank you for the follow. So from here to here, 74, take away 7, take away 4. What do? Can I take away 7? No, I can't take away 7. Oh my God, I'm playing. I need to. Okay, that looks better. So I'm take away the 7. How do I take away the 7? Minus 7 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 3. What do? Take away the 10, right? Just as I said, right? Take away the 10. I need to add the 3. I need to plus the 3 here. Again, I can't plus the 3. My formula that we need to memorize is plus the 5 minus 2. So I plus the 5 and I take away the 2. Now I go here and I take away 4. Can I take away 4? No. What do? Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. So minus the 5 and I plus the 1. So then my answer is 63. Daisy, we're okay? I don't know if oh, Daisy's still here. Thank you. Cool. Oh, thank you so much, Daisy, for all the roses. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Sit Lati. Hey, Sachiri. So, does that make sense? What we're doing is the questions are a little bit loaded. the questions are loaded because now we really need to understand our formulas. So doing the two-step, I mean, when we go through it, that's why I have my books, and my books are single digit, but it goes into understanding it. So here, 8 plus 9, and that was the thing. Ooh, Daisy. So basically like 7 plus 8. Yeah. Wait. So maybe basic like 7 plus 8. The problem is in Abacus there's a pattern. Here's the pattern. Let me tell you the pattern. Let me tell you my secret. Here's my secret. So what we're doing, the reason why I kind of like is because we learn our simple first. Thank you so much for the roses. We learn our simple, right? This is what we learn. The next step we learn is our making of the 5. We learn how to make a 5. We get that solid. We understand how to make a 5. We understand how to minus a 5, right? I want to learn. Yeah! After we learn our 5s, the next thing we learn is our 10s. Notice that it's different colors. These are the 10s that we need to memorize, right? What is it? The formulas for 10s. Plus 5 minus plus 10, right? We said that, right? And then you can do the reverse. 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus 4. Plus 7 is equal to plus 10 minus 3. These are the formulas that we need to memorize. These are the 10 formulas. That's what this is. This is the 10 formulas. Okay? Then, why is this not colored in? This is where we start talking two-step. When we understand what is two-step, what we do is we take our information that we understand on the 5 and we put, hey, Bapple! What we understand is we take the information that we understand for the 5 and we do it for the 10 and we put it inside this two-step. So just like 7 plus 8, that's kind of loaded. Can we do it? Yes, we can. So 7 plus 8, because it's over here. So let's do it. 7 plus 8. 7 and then plus the 8. Well, our formula for the plus 8 is plus the 10 minus 2. Easy. Plus the 10 minus the 2. And my answer is 15. So, just as I said here, we don't memorize our doubles. What we memorize is our add-ins. We memorize what number are we trying to add. That's all we're doing. We're only going into trying to do is figure out what number are we trying to add. That is it. Hi, McDon. I tried it with my finger math and I got the same answer. It's basically the same. Yes, but I could do 10,000. Can you do 10,000 on your fingers? Can you do 6 divided by 10? I can, but then we're going to start getting decimals, probably. Yeah, you could. Oh, here's another thing. Can your fingers do a trillion? Because this is my 23. Is it a trillion? No, 13. My 13 columns. And with feet, yeah, right? You got to use your feet and yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? You could do it, not a problem. You could do it with your hands. This is just another way. I'm not telling you to, like, you got to do this and do this only. But it just makes sense. Okay, so, Ethan, let's hold on the decimals. Thank you, Daisy. Let's do some more adding, because I want to make sure that we have an understanding of adding, right? So we have the 3 digits. Is this 4th grade math 3 digits? Because I'm trying to formulate abacus to the. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to make note of it. So because what I want to do is I want to make a abacus book specific to. Thank you. I'm still learning. McDon. Let me finish my thought. What I want to do is I want to make abacus specific to 4th grade math. So I just need to see what sort of numbers they're doing, and I need to formulate it better. Because, a lot of the numbers, depending on where we are, we could do this. It's just, we got to take it a little bit slower. So here's 124. Again, right? 124. So let's figure this out. Let's see if we can do this easily. So again, this is a plus. I'm going to do it like this, right? So just as we read, we do left to right. So I'm going to add my 1. So I'm going to do this, right? Add my 1. So I'm going to add my 1. Is there enough? Yes, there is enough. So I'm going to add my 1. So here's my second number, right? My next number is 2. So do I have enough? Yes, I'm going to add a 2. Okay, now I'm on my last one, 8. This is where it gets to be two-step. How do I know? Because look at it. When we do 8, 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. I have to plus the 10, take away the 2. When I plus the 10, take away the 2. Plus the 10. Notice I don't have enough beads to plus the 10. I don't have enough beads to plus the 10. So what do? I have to, same thing, plus 1 is equal to plus 5 minus 4. Right, this is the thing, right? Because what we're trying to do is, we tried it simple, can't do it. We have to do plus 5, the making of the 5. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Plus the 5 is plus the 5 minus the 4. Okay, and then don't forget minus 2. So we're going to minus the 2. So my answer is, so please put in the comment what my answer is. What does that look like? Can we read it? So the question is, can you explain the grades in Abacus? 252. Thank you, Ethan. Yes, thank you, Papel. 252. Right? Make sense? 252. Yes, exactly. 252. So I'm going to write down 252. 252. Yeah. So the question is can you explain the grades in Abacus? Yeah, but it doesn't follow with got it, right? It makes sense, right? Like, so that's what I'm saying. I could do it. Thank you so much for the hearts. Thank you. Well, let me see. Let me, cheer. Okay, I got to do the, thank you so much. Right? So what it is the questions can be 3 digits, but we have to be careful with the numbers we're using. And so that was the one thing, is like trying to make it into 4th grade math, because I want it to be slow, but I don't want it to be like to a point where, thank you so much for the roses. Yeah, so that was the idea. So I was going to actually create Abacus books specific to the grade, and I think that will work out better than trying to start from the very beginning, because all the books starts from like, you know, how to do like simple adding and subtracting. But if they're 4th grade, they already know this. They just need to know how to read the Abacus and how to move it. So that was the one thing. So Ethan, your question was how to explain it. To explain it, really, it's just more numbers. But usually when we do Abacus, they usually start the kids at a lower grade, at a younger age. They don't start Abacus in grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. They start Abacus in kindergarten and 1st grade. So that's what I'm trying to play with. Like, I think what I want to do is, I want to know how to, what I'm going to do, and there's a book coming out, and I was thinking about it. There's going to be a book to introduce Abacus at 4th grade. So we do 4th grade math, but we do Abacus questions. So the question is, let's see how this one goes. 27 plus 13. This will be easy. This will be easy. What are we doing? Same thing. I'm going to change color. Okay, 27. We have 27, right? We got 27. Not a problem. We add 1. I'm sorry. We add 1. Now we add the 3. Okay. This is a good question. Why? Because now we start going through our process. Oh, you too, Apple. Have a great day. Don't forget to get outside today. Oh, yeah, it's done raining. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. You're starting to see the light in my windows. Thank you so much. I'll see you later, Apple. Okay, so this is a nice question because now we can talk about it. Adding a 3, there's 2 ways to add a 3. The first way to add a 3 is plus the 5 minus 2. The second way to add 3 is plus 3 is equal to plus the 10 minus 7. So those are the 2 ways. The first way is what so simple means we have no formulas, right? So this is step 1, this is step 2, this is a checklist, right? Can we do it? If we can, how do we do it, right? So here is the 3. The question is can I add the 3? No. I cannot add the 3. So this is, that's wrong, right? So it'd be like a checklist. So I just crossed it out. We can't do it. Can we add a 5? Can we add this 5? Wrong. Can't do it. So this is not a possibility. The only other possibility would be this one. That's it. 3 can only do so much. So what do? Plus the 10 minus the 7. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 7. And Ethan for the win. It is 40. Make sense? So it all depends on the numbers that we do, and it also depends on it really so that was the thing that I want to do for my 4th grade. Yes, Lady, you're still here. Okay, so the question is 55 minus 7 minus 7. Okay? 55 minus 7. Right? We're doing math. We're doing homework. This is cool. I really like it. Okay. So 55, easy, right? Not a problem. Not a problem. So what are we going to do here? We got to do is take away the 7. We're not here. What we're going to do is we're going to do here. We got to take away the 7 from the ones. So we focus in on the ones. So what does that mean? We're going to borrow, right? Because what are we going to do? Minus the 7 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 3. Notice I have a minus 10 here. Minus 10 is a borrow. But this is a 2-step. Why? Because there's not enough to take away the 1. So what do? Minus the 1 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 4. So I'm going to minus the 5 plus the 4. And then I have to add the 3. So I'm going to add the 3. Yes, Ethan. Yes. 48. So my answer is 48. Cool? I'm trying to work in my little sound effects. Hopefully it's not loud, because I know that when the other people do it, it's like super loud and it busts my ears. But hopefully it's not loud. Let me know if it's too loud. I'll bring it down a notch. But I just wanted to be like kind of cool. All right. So, does that make sense, Daisy? It's just medium loud. So it's okay. It doesn't bust your ears, right? I can make it lower. Let me see if I can do sound mixer. Let me go lower. Maybe I'll do 20. So this is what 20 looks like. Right? Like it's just enough. It's just enough. I don't want it to be like, maybe I'll go back to 25. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do 25. Yeah, I think 25 is good. Okay, so question is 108. Okay, so let's see how that goes. 108, 22 minus. Do I have enough room? Let's see if I have enough room. So we have 108, right? What are we going to do? We do it, same thing. We take this number first. Minus 20 minus 2 minus 20. Can I take away 2? No. I know I can't take away 5, so I'm going to go straight into minus the 2 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 8. Here, right, is my borrow. I'm going to borrow. I'm not saying, I'm just, because in mainstream math we talk about borrowing. But in Abacus we say minus the 10. It doesn't matter where we are. We just need to minus the 10. Minus the 10 will always be that column on the other side. So minus the 10 plus the 8. Right? Oh, this is an easy one. So then take away 2. Can I take away the 2? Yes, I can take away the 2. And I just take away 2. So my answer is 86. Yes, 86. I have enough room. So, does that make sense? Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully did it make sense to your child, Daisy, your 4th grader? Are they following? Are they tracking? Are they understanding? Because, the one problem is the questions are not formulated to build the information halfway. Yeah. You know what? Hold on. I actually started building questions. Wait, hold on. Let me do. Okay. Let me do this. here is a set of questions. Let's do this. I understand, but I'm 30. Yeah, right? Like, and that's why, like, on my lives, I don't expect children to see us. But I have questions. Here. Much better. Here, much better. Okay. Here, okay, this is the path that I was going to do my fourth grade, right? Because we're doing 2 digits, right? So 21 plus 73. Okay? Easy, right? Makes easy. So what we're going to do, what is this? This is, again, we're just going to, do you have an abacus? I'm hoping you have an abacus at home. If you have an abacus at home, that would be brilliant, because then she can follow, right? Or I'm assuming she's a she. I just said fourth grader, but you're fourth grader. I don't. Okay. 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 I would recommend getting an abacus. I would, because you're fourth grader, I would do the 13 column one. Boy. Okay. Yeah, see. I have 3 boys. I understand your pain. Hi, Nightcrawler. Okay. Hey, yes, Sid is still here. And was Subanar. Welcome. And Dawn McDawn. Oh, hi. And Eureka. Okay. So, Daisy, if you get a chance, I would recommend doing a 13 column one. That would work very well all the way to 5th grade, 6th grade, because you start doing multiplication and division. Okay, but I do the colorful one because it's easy. You could use, yes, Ethan says you could use an Abacus app instead of an alternative. It's still here. Thank you, McDawn. You could use it, but I would still recommend buying an abacus just so they could see the numbers, because seeing it two-dimensional and feeling it and moving it is a different story, because the what we're trying to do is we're trying to solidify the concreteness of it. And in abacus, we actually go all the way to like college with abacus. So there's a person, if you YouTube it, this one guy, he would do it in his head, but he practiced it to the point where, exactly, muscle memory. Exactly, McDonald. It's muscle memory. So one thing is muscle memory. 2, it's also seeing the pattern. And 3, looking at it and moving forward. So there's this one guy, he does abacus really fast in his head, but he's practiced it. He's done it so many times. I'm just here to be like, okay, let's make math fun. So you could do it you could have the Abacus app, but I think because the kids can feel it and touch it, it's more fun. It adds that extra engagement. So I would recommend purchasing an Abacus. I would get the 12, but I also get it single column, single colored, because this gets a little much, and then when the questions get bigger, it's just too much for the eyes. So they get used to doing the single color. I like this because we're on live and it's just nice and pretty. But I would recommend doing the single color, and then as you move the beads, you can focus in what you're trying to do. So that's my 2 cents is get a 13 column one and get one with single digit. But I'm going to go back to this one because it's easier to demonstrate here. So I have 21, not a problem, right? And then what do? I do 70. So the question is can I add 7? Yes. So all I got to do is add the 7, and can I add the 3? Yes, I can add the 3. And that's it. That's all I got to do. So my answer is 94. Right? So we're okay. So then the next one would be this one. 94, right? So now we're on to the next one. We understand how to move the beads, right? Your son's okay, Daisy. He understands how to move the beads. He understands how to read it. So then the next one we're going to do is we're going to do 14 plus 13. What does that mean? Well, we have 14, 1 and 4, right? 1 and 4. So now we're gonna add. When we add, hey Noah, we're gonna add. We have the 1, and then we add the 3. Okay, remember, what's the next step? We don't have any more beads to add the 3. So what do? We remember our plus 5. We remember our plus 5 formula. To plus the 5, right? To plus this, it's plus the 3 is equal to plus the 5 minus 2. Remember that this is a formula that they have to memorize. They have to memorize this formula no matter what. Right? No matter what, they have to memorize this formula. So what are we going to do? It's plus the 5 minus the 2. So we plus the 5 minus the 2. So my answer is 20. Daisy, have your son tell me what this number is. What number is this? Hey, Heather. Ghost. Hopefully Ghost is not ghosting me. Daisy, is your son, does he know what number this is? Hey, welcome everybody. So the other thing is getting them to talk about it. So we have a conversation. I don't know. Hopefully Daisy's still here. Hopefully his son's okay. So I'm going to write it. Yes, thank you, Lady 27. Yes, thank you. Okay, good. So he understands that, right? So the things that he has to memorize, plus 2 is equal to plus 5 minus 3. Notice that there's a pattern. There's a 3 here and a 2 here and a 2 here and a 3 here. Oh, bathroom break. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. Okay, so here's the formulas that he has to memorize, right? So this is what we're doing is we're adding the 5. When we're adding the 5, we need to remember plus the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. Okay, so here's a question. Here's a question for your son. What is the inverse? Is that right? How do we switch this? Do you see that there's a pattern? How do we switch it? So if I wanted to plus the 1, what would be the formula? Right? What would be the formula for the plus 1? No, Ethan. We're going to add the 1. If we add the 1, what are we going to do? Exactly. Right? So you see that there's a pattern. Plus the 5 minus the 4. So this is something that he needs to know, hands down. Once he knows this, this is my secret. This is the secret. Right? That's the secret. This is it. Right? Whew. And then when we know our adding, we know our subtraction. So I'm backtracking a little bit, right? Because I want to make sure that he understands. So what we do is we need to know the minus signs, right? Minus 1 equals minus 5 plus 4, right? That's the next step. So this is one book and this is another book. So I'm not, because we're live, we're pushing through a lot, right? Because I'm talking to adults. But for him, I would take it slower. For him, I would take it one step slower because he needs to understand it and marinate. But then the thing is once he gets it, he will be way faster than all of us put together. Like when he gets it, he will be so fast. You'll be like, whoa, slow down. I don't know what you're doing here. And so sometimes, like my kids, my boys, they're all super fast. Do they do Abacus anymore? No. But they moved on. So what Abacus does, it lays the groundwork. It fills in the gaps. It fills in the gaps to one, critically think. What are we doing? How are we doing it? How else can we do it? Right? We're not here that saying Abacus is everything. No. Abacus is the stepping stone. After we understand Abacus, then you can move into more complex math. Abacus is the gateway to complex math. So thank you for the follow. Keep it clean. 35. Yeah. Abacus is just a gateway to complex math. So the stuff that we're doing here, when we talk about can we do this, can we do that, it is the next step to doing algebra. So algebra, we isolate the variable. My kids, they go into algebra and they're like, wait, I've never learned this before, but I know this. Because Abacus is so ingrained in them that it's easy for them to understand and relate. So when my kids were doing Common Core, they didn't have a problem because we talked about it. In Abacus, it very much aligns with Common Core, and Common Core is actually aligns with Abacus actually, if you really think about it, because Abacus has been around for many years. And what makes it different? It's such an old concept, but it's just interesting that we take this old concept and we don't move it forward to modernize it. So that's why I built out my worksheets. I built out my worksheets to modernize Abacus, because we don't, we in Abacus we just do a bunch of numbers and that's it. And then people are like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, okay, well, what we need to do is we need to break it up. So what I did is I broke it up into specific ideas. We work with the add-in. When we understand this add-in, we go to the next add-in. And so in school, we're just given a bunch of numbers. Here's a bunch of numbers, figure it out, right? And then we got to go through all these manipulatives, right? Then we got all these manipulatives. Okay, I'm going to make 13, so I got to make 13. And then I got to make 14. And then it was like, okay, I have 14. That's great. Now what are we going to do? Well, we got to put them together, and then we got to rearrange. So this is fine, but it's a little much for our eyes. And this does not translate to how we write. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that Abacus is a different way. And so here, when we did it, we have our 1 and 4. That's what this is, right? 1 and 4. And then what did we do? We add 13. We add the 1, and then we add the 3, right? So then we know that it's 7, right? Plus the 5 minus the 2. Wait, 4. Right, 13, right? Minus the 5 plus the 2. So my answer is 27. So then in school, we're like, okay, we have this, but the thing is it's harder for our eyes to see these items because it's too much. It's just too much. So notification joined. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Keeping it clean. Keep it clean. Thank you for the follow. Right? So McDon, have I? It's okay. Are we okay? Flawful, lawful fell. Yeah, thank you so much for the like. Yeah, right? Like, it's great. We could do, there's other ways to do it. I just teach Abacus. That's all. You can do it any way you want. But it just depends on what you want, where you want to go. So I'm just teaching Abacus, which is another way. I'm not saying this is the end all. So, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. So that's the thing, right? Just understanding it slowly and making sure that it makes sense. So we can continue on. And then after this, okay, so we can finish this, right? So this is the other one, right? Minus 2 is equal to minus 5 plus the 3. Do you plan on making workbooks for multiplication and division? Yes, I do, actually. That's the next steps. Because there's no point in just doing adding and subtracting. No, you can do, and actually, I was going to go into decimals as well. So multiplication, decimals, multiplication, division, and then somebody was asking me about fractions. And what is a fraction? Fraction is a division, right? So that was the one thing I started off with. So what does that mean? Well, let me see. Here's my fraction. Here's my fraction. So we were going to do fractions. Well, let's rewrite it. Let's rewrite the fraction. This is how we rewrite the fraction. So what are we doing with division? Well, the first thing we do is we have to find our starting point, right? We find our starting point. To find our starting point, we have to take our dividend. We have to take our dividend. I'm going to label it E because I want to keep it track in my head. Because if I say it, it's just too many D's. So then I have my divisor. So I have my dividend and my divisor. It's an S and an E, right? Because that's, anyways. So what we do is take away my divisor. How many digits is my, now I'm really learning. Yeah. We go into it. It just all depends, right? Like I was taking a step back because your son was joining. So I wanted to take a step back and have him understand. So here's my divisor. I have 2 digits in my divisor. Take away how many digits in my dividend. 2 digits in my dividend minus 1 digit. Because my 1 digit. So what am I doing? I'm trying to find my starting point. So my starting point is equal to 1. It's equal to 1. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my answer here. Okay, that's all I'm doing. I'm putting my answer here. Now what I need to do is I need to figure out, so if I have to compare, where do I get minus 1? Here. 1 digit. right? My divisor is 1 digit. My dividend is 2 digits. So right here, I'm only trying to find my starting point. Starting point. That's all I'm doing right here. I'm only trying to figure out my starting point. So I'm going to be here. This is where my answer is going to sit. That's the trying to predict where my answer is going to sit. So the first thing I need to do is figure out who is bigger, my dividend or my divisor. And I'm going to break it up. My divisor or my dividend, right? My divisor is 5. My dividend is 8. Who is bigger, my dividend or my divisor? My divisor, no, my dividend is bigger, right? My dividend is bigger, right? Thank you, lady. My dividend is bigger. Because my dividend is bigger, I got to skip one column. And I'm going to, I'm sorry. I forgot to add my dividends. 85. I need to add my 85 here. Okay. So I'm going to skip a column, right? Because my dividend is bigger. Because my dividend is bigger, I'm going to skip one column. My question now is, what times 5? 5 times what is equal to 8? 5 times 1. I add my 1, my answer here. Because why? Because my dividend is bigger, so my answer will sit here. Then I'm only going to take away 5. So now I'm taking away 5. So now we have a partial quote. I'm using big math terms because I don't know it. I'm laughing because I'm trying to be more mainstream. So my partial quote, I still have a partial quote. That means I still need to keep going because because I know it zeroes out. So now I go back. My divisor is 5. I have 2. Do I compare? No. I only compare the 1 digit. I only compare the 1 digit. This tells me if I need two columns or 1 column. So because my dividend is 3 and my divisor is 5, my divisor is bigger. Now I know I need to get 2. I need to use these 2 columns. That's the only reason why we compare. So we know where to put the answer and how many columns we are going to take away. And it's interesting because mainstream math doesn't do that. They don't teach you to compare. And it's interesting. Hey, NCMS, we're doing division. So the question is, 3 times what is equal to 35? Right? 3 times 7, so I add my 7 to my answer. And I take away 30, and I take away 5. So my answer is 17. So if you have 2 digits divided by 1 digit, is it still 2 minus 1? Yes, it will always be 2 minus 1. So that's the question. If it's 2 digits minus 1 digit, yes, it's 2 minus 1. Because what you're doing is you're comparing the numbers. You're comparing your answers. So, hey, P, and Leah. So let's do, that's a good one. Okay, let's see. 85. Yes, not a problem. Let's do another problem. Sorry, I cracked myself up because anyways, so we can write it any way, right? We're knowing. So what's going to happen? Well, again, just as Ethan had asked, how many digits do we have? We have 2 digits here, 1 digit here. So 2 digit minus 1 is equal to 1. Where am I going to put my abacus? Where am I going to put my answer? So I'm going to put my answer over here because this is 1. Hopefully you guys can see, right? It's my 1. I got to put in my dividends. I forgot to put my dividend, so put my dividend. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. 2. We're going to have to pretend. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. So now I'm going to set up my chart, right? My 4 is my divisor. This is my divisor. This is my dividend. I like to label so I don't need to memorize. Okay, my finger's in the way. Okay, I think I'm going to do this. Let me know if this is get confusing. Okay, so again, what do? I only need to compare the one digit. That's how I know what I'm going to do. I don't need to see the whole number. That's too much. It gets overwhelming, right? So the one digit is E, is my one digit, my one divisor, my one dividend. Sorry, my one dividend. I have to be careful with my numbers. So who is bigger? My dividend or my divisor? Why is it E and S? Oh, because it's dividend, and divisor. Divisor. But I didn't want to do D and D. I think they were just a letter she randomly picked. Yeah, the divisor and the dividend. Yes, thank you, Subanar. Yes, exactly. I said D and E because you can't say D. I could say DE. I just need to label it because writing it out, divisor and dividend is a little much. Yes. So my dividend is bigger. Because my dividend is bigger. Hey, Oak Creek. Oh, I gotta wait. Hold on. I gotta verify. Hold on, please. Hold, please. I need to verify. That's how long I've been. I've been here for a while. Okay. So my divisor, and my dividend. Okay. So 8. Yes. So because my dividend is bigger. Hey, Mal. Hey, Mal. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Because my dividend is bigger, I'm going to skip one column and I'm going to only use one column. I'm only going to subtract one column. So this is the one I need to figure out. My question now is 4 times what is equal to 8 or less? Because my dividend is bigger, I only need to do this. So 4 times 2 is 8. So I put 2 in my answer. And when I put 2 in my answer, I just need to take away 8. Not a problem? Okay, we're okay? So now, I still have a partial quote. Thank you, Ethan. Let me see. Okay, so I have a partial quote. Okay, my partial quote. What am I doing? Well, again, my dividend is what? My dividend is 2 now. There's really no point of going back to this because it might have changed. So my dividend is 2, but we're going to pretend that it has to be 2 and a 0, right? But again, my dividend is 2. My dividend is 2. My divisor is still 4. So my divisor is bigger. Because my divisor is bigger, I'm taking 2 columns. 1, 2, 1, 2, right? My answer is going to sit here. So what's going to happen? 4 times what is equal to 20 or less? 4 times 5. So notice I put my 5 here. Oh, sorry. And I take away 20. Take away 2 and take away 0. So now we just did 2 columns. So now we just did is we have a decimal. So my answer is 20.5. How do I know my decimal? Because it sits between the column 1, right? My ones, and my tenths. Did that make sense? So 2 columns to the left or the right. 2 columns to the right because it's 20, it's a 2 and a 0. But because my abacus is small and I didn't deem it, we fell off we fell off my abacus. Do I have a YouTube? Yes, I do. It's Miss Lynette, actually. It's not even learning. It's Miss Lynette. That's my YouTube. Yeah, I do have office hours. Like, I have a scheduled office hours every Wednesday at 9 Pacific Standard Time. And that's for my students that are part of my classes. So any parents that are that have taken my online class, and if they have any questions, then I answer those questions. TikTok Live, I don't really push because I'm not regular on TikTok Live. I'm just here to just talk and to formulate how to better do things and have a communication. But I do answer all questions, anything to do with my classes, my books, my abacus, anything that deals with me. And then I also help my brother's school. And if any of the parents want to have questions, they can come on at 9 o'clock Wednesdays a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is a thing that I give to my to anybody, but that's the most regular. So people ask me if I'm regular on TikTok. I'm not regular on TikTok. I mean, it's great. I'm but I'm kind of like all over the place on TikTok because you can. But here, if you want it to be regular and you want it to catch me at any time, the time is 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I am in all of my socials, and that's the specifically. Ethan will know. Ethan saw me on my one last week. But that was specific for any of the parents that are not on TikTok, any of the parents that were not on. But I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Yeah, those are the four. But yeah, if that makes sense. But yeah, and then I answer questions of those. So, all right. If anybody else has more questions, I mean, yeah, this is division, and so then again, if you notice, we did a fraction. So what is a fraction? A fraction is just a glorified division. But yeah, you could do that, and you could do multiplication. So I do plan to do decimals as well. We did some decimals before, but when I do my workbook, it would go into multiplication and division. That's where it started. It started with that question. Thank you, McDon. Yeah. So it would go all the way to decimals. It would go all the way to decimals. So it would be decimals, adding, subtracting, and multiplication and division. One more division, please. Oh, I love problems. You love problems. I'll give you a problem. I'll give you problems. Let me give you a problem. Okay, let me find one. Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. And so that was the thing. I wanted to make another workbook for senior citizens. The reason why was I wanted to keep their minds active. In order to keep their minds active, just like Sudoku, right? Just like word searches, just like crossword puzzles, I was going to add in Abacus as part of it. I just haven't. That was just a thought. And it's gonna formulate. I just gotta organize my thoughts a little bit and figure out how to present it. That was the thing, was trying to figure out how to present it that's digestible, because we have a bunch of abacus that's out there. There's a bunch of abacus activities out there, but it's a little bit much. I mean, there's books. This is not new. There's like books. It's 3. See, good night, Ethan. It's 2 a.m. You gotta go to bed, man. Okay. We will do. Okay, this is not a good one. Let me do this one over here. We'll do. Oh no, not that one. Sorry, I'm trying to find a number. Okay, you know what? We'll do something more. We will do something more. Let's take it up a notch, right? 5252. Divide that by 2. My sister is making. Oh, I'm sorry. My sister is making my daughter an abacus. I'm going to try to get her to make me one too. Oh yeah, right, Subanar, fantastic. How old is your daughter? Ethan, were you? Yeah, Ethan's in the Philippines. He follows me. He saw my my office hour. Oh, I was talking about that. Me too. She's almost 6. Oh yeah. And perfect, right? Oops. It's a great activity, and just remember. Just remember that when you do it. I mean, I made one just to make one for the kids and stuff, but it's a great activity. But yeah. Remember when you do it, right? And you could use pipe cleaners. You can use string. You can use anything. You can use straw. Really, it doesn't matter. But the idea is making it so it's easy to use. You could even just use blocks, really, right? And just kind of formulate it. But you would have to remember. It just gets messy. That's all. Okay, so our next problem. Again, we need to find our starting point. I'm going to use the bigger abacus so I don't run out of space. All right. Oh, yeah. So your daughter is 6. You could still use this one, the 7 one, with the colors. Or when that's a bigger problem. Yes, I have 99 problems, but I don't know. I don't know that little thing. So Bernard, when your sister is making it, make it. I would recommend making it maybe 5 columns. And you would have the one in the middle. This one is obviously this is just one, right? But I would make it into 5 columns, and I'd have the middle column as your ones because she's 6, so she'd probably go all the way up to 3 digits, and then she can start doing decimals. So that would be my recommendation for you. If you can tell your sister to make one with 5 columns. It's a little much, but it would help to talk about the tens, the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. Right? Just as we do here, there's the tenths, right? When we talk about, the reason why is because when we talk about money. So let's say we do $2.25, right? So it's $2.25. So it'd be easy to relate this to money as well. So it'd be $2.25. So that's what the dot would be, right? Because and then have her label the ones in the middle. So it'd be 5, right? And then label the middle because you want to it's just to keep track. And then when she graduates, right? You can get her something that's 13 columns or make a 13 column. That's up to you. But that's what I would do. I wouldn't make it more than that because she's only 6. It'd probably carry her to maybe 2nd or 3rd grade. But when you get into 5th grade, I would recommend doing this. Thank you so much, Random Things. Yeah, if you want to go further on and doing multiplication and division, I would invest into a 13 column or make a 13 column one. It's up to you. Okay, so we're back to here. Ready? Okay. We're going to do the same thing. We have to figure out our starting point. We have 4 digits here. We have 1 digit here. Again, we need a label. Divisor, dividend, because I don't want to remember it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, not a problem. Let me know if you have any questions, but thank you for letting me know that she's making an abacus. It's fantastic. I think it's the greatest thing next to sliced bread. So, I thought a 15 column, you bought a 15 column one. Yes! Fantastic. The 15 column is just as good. Is it one color in CMS? It should be one color because it's a little much when it's like this. Whew, okay. Okay, yeah, right. So we're back to here. Yeah, it's one color. Yeah, when it gets it gets a little much. So what we're going to do is we're going to take away 4 minus 1. Why? Because we have 4 digits here minus 1 digit here. So my starting point will be 3. Yeah. Okay? So we count 1, 2, 3. So I'm at the hundreds. Now I'm at the hundreds column, right? I'm at the hundreds column. Because I'm at the hundreds column, now what do? I'm going to set up my chart. Just so it's easy for me to see, right? It's not for you guys. I'm being selfish. I want to see what I'm trying to do. And I have conversations. with my questions. Because I like to talk. It's all about being selfish. So I'm being selfish. So here, 2. Oh, I need 3. 2. So my divisor is 2. My dividend is 5. Again, I only look at the one number. I only look at this one number. I'm going to figure out what color I want. I only want this number. I only need to know one number at a time. If I get too many numbers, I get confused. And if I get confused, then I just shut down. Okay, so we have this, right? 5. So who is bigger, my dividend or my divisor? My dividend is bigger. My dividend is bigger, so it's this way, right? So when it's bigger, I skip one column, so I skip this column, I go here. You know what? I was supposed to put in my divisor. So wait, 1, 2, 3. My answer's here. I got to put in my dividends. 5, 2, 5, 2. Gotta go. Oh, gotta go. Okay. I will see you in my next live. Thank you so much for all the hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so skip one column. Have a good day. Question, right? Question is 2 times what is equal to 5 or less? 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So I put 2, which is my answer, here. I'm going to take away 4. Take away 4. Remember our formula? Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. So I'm going to minus the 5. So I minus the 5 and I plus the 1. Okay, I'm done. Am I done? No, because I have a partial quotient. So I still need to figure this out. I still need to continue. So now, notice I can't go back to this. I got to start looking at my abacus. That's why we use the abacus to hold our dividends. We use the abacus to hold our dividends because now our written, we don't write it out, right? We don't write out the long division. That's why we use the abacus. So now my dividend is 1. My divisor is 2. My divisor is bigger, so I know I'm going to be over here to add my answer. I'm going to take these 2 columns. These are the 2 columns I'm going to take. So it is 2 times what is equal to 12 or less. 2 times 6. So I add my 6 and I take away 12. Take away 1, take away 2. Got it? Good. So, partial quotient. I still have something. So I have 5 and 2. I still have 5. So I do a comparison again. Who is bigger? 5 or 2? 5 is bigger. So what do? I skip one column and I'm going to only use this one column. 2 times what is equal to 5 or less? Again, it's 4. So I have my 2. Why is it 12? Why is it 12? Why is it 12? Oh, because 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. So I had my 4, I had my 1, I had my 1, I had my 2. So it's 12. Oh, because the 1, so I know that my 2 is bigger. I take 2 columns. That's why it's 12. That's the only reason why it's 12. Because my divisor is bigger. My divisor is bigger. I take 2 columns. I use 2 columns. That's why. Make sense? We all right? The only reason why is there's 2 columns. So I should change color. Yeah, okay. So because its divisor is bigger, this is 2 columns. Because this is smaller, you can't see it because my face is in the way. Because this is smaller, you do 1 column. So it matters between who is bigger and who is smaller. Is it 1 column or 2 column? That's why. So 12 is 2. No, 6. Right? 6. Take away 12. Okay, so we're at the partial quotient. So we're doing it again, right? Who is bigger? My divisor. No, my dividend is bigger. Okay, bye. Bye, Daisy. Have a good day. I'll see you in my next live, hopefully. Okay, so my divisor is bigger. My divisor is bigger. So again, I skip this column. So this is 1 column. So my question is, what times 2 is equal to 5 or less? 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So I put my 2 here, and I take away 4. Minus the 5 plus the 1. And then, again, I compare. I have a partial quotient. I compare. I don't compare 12. I compare my 1. I compare only the 1 column. So 2 times 2 is bigger than 1. So this is where I do 2 columns. 2 columns. So what times 2 is equal to 12 or less? 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So my answer is 2626. How is that, McDon? Was that okay? Easy, right? Super easy. My answer. Where's my answer? Ah, there we go. Answer. 2626. I'm telling you, simple to use, easy to understand. It's just, you got to go through the steps. That's all. Once you know the steps, it's the same thing over and over again. I've been learning to count from 0 to 9. I need an abacus. See? You wanted to use your fingers. Go ahead. That's fine. You can. I know you can. I'm not knocking it. You can. I just don't know it. I don't know how to do on the abacus. I don't know how to do finger abacus. But how can you do that only in your mind? You practice. It's a lot of practicing. It's a lot of practicing. It's a lot of like remembering it and seeing it in your head. Can I do it? I can kind of do it. Can my kids do it? They can kind of do it. I never pushed them to do it. I just wanted them to have a solid foundation with their math, and I wanted to have number fluency, and I wanted to have them to, get them to be fluent in their number facts and their math facts, because I don't see, to me, I never saw a point to do this mentally in my head. Like, I just need to do it quickly so I can go to the next problem. I just need to do it quickly so I can understand the more complex problems, like, algebra, calculus, trigonometry. That's the reason why I learned abacus, and that's the reason why I want my kids to learn. I didn't want them to do it in their head. Does it matter? I don't know. But they know how to do it. They can move it. They can do like complex math because abacus lays a groundwork for critical thinking. It gives them confidence so they will do more. So there's other benefits than just doing arithmetic in your head. Okay. But yeah, I mean, you can take your child to abacus competition. That's fine. But what it is you got to practice it. Just like practicing a piano, just like practicing like music, right? It's all about practice. And the more you practice, the more your child practices, the more they will see, the more you can actually do the same question, but they can do it in their head. So that would be the route if that's where you want to go. Do I? Yeah, I don't, because there's more. To me, there's more to life than just abacus. But I wanted to, for my kids. But for me, I'm trying to do. Is multiplication easier? Multiplication is easier for what it is. We can do that. But it gets complicated as more numbers you do, right? So we can do a multiplication question. Let's do this one. 58 times that by 37. We'll do that. Let's see how that works. The reason why in multiplication it gets hairy when it's more numbers. So if we had like 5 digits times 5 digits, and in abacus, the curriculum, it gets really complicated really quick. But like for something simple like this, it's super easy. Again, what are we going to do? We're going to find our starting point, right? We always have to find our starting point, because in mainstream math, we do it like this, right? 50, 30, right? Oh, it's 7. And then times that. And then we have to, like, what do? We do this, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then do this, right? Okay, we need to go. Oh, yeah, thank you so much, NCMS. Thank you so much for joining. It was great to see you. All right, so mainstream math looks like this. This is going to be my last question, because I'm going to go have breakfast, because I'm kind of hungry. All right, so in abacus, how do we do it? Well, again, we're going to find our starting point. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this first, and then we do this. Okay, but the first thing we need to do is find our starting point. So we're going to find our starting point. 2, 3, 4. So our starting point's at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put my finger here, and I'm going to multiply it out. 3 times 5 is equal to 15. I add my 1, I add my 5, right? And then 3 times 8 is 24. 24. I add my 2, I add my 4. So now I have my partial product. I have my partial product. Because I have my partial product, I'm done with this. I don't need to figure it out. I have to figure out my next starting point. So what's my next starting point? 1, 2, 3. So I go 1, 2, 3. 7 times 5 is 35. 3, 5. Add 30, add 5. Plus the 3. Plus the 3 is equal to plus the 10 minus 7. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 7. And then I add my 5. All right, no problem. So now 7 times 8 is 56. Is that right? 56. So I have my 5. I add my 6. I add my 5. Plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus 5. So I plus the 5 and minus the 5. I'm sorry, plus the 10 minus the 5. And then I plus the 6. So what's my answer? McDon, are you still here? What's my answer? I have 2,000. How do I know it's 1,000? Because there's my dot, right? So that, see how it's easy to see now? So here's my dot, 2,146. Yes, thank you, McDon. Right? Easy, right? Simple to use, easy to understand. Thank you so much. Ben Lamb. Hello, Nicholas. Oh, Lisa and Nicholas. Hello, Nicholas. Yes, does it make sense? Are you okay? I know it's a little, I know it's a little much, but let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, so we just did that. So again, do you see how we added we have to understand our making of the 10. When we make it 10, then we can start doing our multiplication. Same thing. I think multiplication is easier than division. Yes, it is. It is to a point. But then when the numbers get bigger, division's easier because you're taking away and it's just easier to see what you're doing. But again, it's all about the process. When you understand the process, everything is easy. So, okay, anybody have any other questions? Thank you everybody for joining me and talking about Abacus. If anybody else has any more questions, I'm gonna sign off. But I do enjoy it. I agree. Thank you. Yeah. See, the thing is when when the numbers get bigger. But I haven't figured out. But that's the question, right? Like the question is like how many numbers is relevant. But it's also depending on the goal. What am I trying to say? Because what I want to do is I want to make the workbook, and when I make the workbook, I want to make it make sense. So I was going to do one workbook for parents to teach the children, to teach your children how to teach, and then there'll be a children's workbook, right, which makes sense. And then there was going to be another workbook for adults, for those people that want to keep their mind active. So when their minds are active, then I can make the numbers larger and bigger. But I wouldn't do that for, like, say, the parents, because they don't need to have bigger numbers, because their kids are only going to do like maybe one or two two or three, maybe 3 add-ins at most. And then by then their kids would graduate out and understand, to start using a calculator and stuff. But I mean, do my kids use calculators? Yeah, they use calculators now. But do they know their number sense? Yeah, they know their number sense. Do I worry about it? I don't worry about it. Right? So, like, again, when they were doing Abacus and they did the Common Core, they didn't have a problem because Common Core aligns to Abacus. Abacus has been around for a lot longer than Common Core. Is Common Core a new thing? Not really. Not really. It's just how you see it. It's just how it's different. Because when we were kids, we were told to memorize. But if I knew this, if I knew Abacus, I would have been like, you know what? I would teach my kids Abacus. My kids know Abacus, but I learned it when I was old. I learned it when I was 30 something. Yeah, I was 30 something when I learned it. So it's not difficult to learn. It's just another thing if you want to do it mentally. So if anybody has any questions, Lisa, Granny of 4. Ooh, Granny of 4. Congratulations. Yeah. So, I mean, Lisa, so do you sell your books anywhere besides Amazon? I sell PDFs on my website. If you want a PDF, I sell my PDF. I do have, if you want to be part of my class, if you want to be part of my online class, I do have pre-recorded classes, which goes through all of my worksheets, and you can have my worksheets for free. That's part of the class. You get all my worksheets if you want to be part of the class, and it's $20 a month, and you have all of the videos at your hand. All of the videos are less than 5 minutes because I didn't want the kids to stick around for so long, right? There's only so much you could say, but there's only so much I wanted to show because I wanted them to do the rest of the page. So my class is an online class, and yeah, I think $20 is okay, but yeah, you get all of the PDFs. You get all of my worksheets, and if you wanted extra worksheets, I can create more worksheets and provide that to you. But I do like it because I feel like it's interactive. Yeah, so I do. So that's my online class. It's all the information's on my website. I still got to work on my website to make it more understanding. My website is not as good as my abacus skills. Just so you know. I mean, anyways, I haven't put in a lot because I really, what it was is I was trying to figure out like how to do things. So I also sell on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I believe my store name and Teachers Pay Teachers is Learning hyphen with Lynette. So it's there too. I have a few other worksheets on Teachers Pay Teachers as well. It's not as categorized, and I think I need to figure out is how to categorize Abacus, because when I started I was just going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Now I have a better understanding, so I'm going to be categorizing my stuff better. So but again, it's just a learning process. I'm 46 and still don't know how to use it. But we all learn, right? We're all trying to figure this out. But yeah, if that made sense, Subanar. So those are the other places. So my website, which is learningwithlynette.com, you can buy the worksheets there. What is it? St. Patrick's is coming, and so what I did is, like, a while ago, I made a St. Patrick's. Where is it? I made some worksheets for St. Patrick's. It's not a book yet. This is still my PDF. So it was like a maze, and this was like counting forward. This is for like young kids, and this is about like tracing and understanding and stuff. And so this is like for younger kids. And again, this is just understanding how to read the numbers. There was pixel art and stuff, and then tracing and so forth. So I haven't built one for older kids yet because I didn't think in my head that people would be interested. Honestly, I honestly didn't think people would be interested. So, but yeah, I do have a color by number. But that's and then this is like number patterns. So, but that's the St. Patrick's one. And then obviously after I finish all of my abacus, I'm gonna go into multiplication division. And multiplication division, again, I haven't delved into it because there's a lot. And trying to formulate it and format it. So this is my multiplication and I only did the 3 times table because I don't know if anybody is interested in the others. You know what I mean? These are all just ideas. So here I had it where it's one dinosaur with 3 plates. So I talked about the pink plates, and I was going to make it, I think I'm going to make it in color, and I'm going to publish this as a book. And so the question is the story goes, there's a dinosaur walking with her brother. The dinosaur has 3 plates and the brother has 3 plates. So the question is 3 times 2. So the idea was trying to show them like how to count it, right? And there's many ways of doing it. So then there was more exercises. So I have it where I had like 3 times 3, and then again, because in Abacus we kind of have to memorize. So the idea was to try to get them to see the different ways of doing it, so we can group them, right? Then there was different ways of seeing the numbers. We have 3 times 1, 3 times 2, or we have the reverse, which is, I didn't do the reverse, but I do the missing add-in. So here, the reason why I have a +3 is so if I go here, I want to plus the 3, so I add the 3. Since I have 6, right, and I add another 3, then it'd be 9. So, I mean, I filled this out, but that was the idea. So then I showed different ways of how to add and how to subtract. How to add. And then I do this, right, where you subtract. So if I have a 4, if I know 4 times 3 times 4 is 12. If I take away 3, right, then I'll have 9. So that was the idea for this. So the idea was to be flexible, to add and subtract of the numbers. And then it goes into like more of the question. And then it was like a story. All 4 dinosaurs walk to the park and they meet one more dinosaur. How many plates are there? So then there's 15 plates altogether. So this was a story that I have. And this is something I was, thought about. And then I was going to do it for every one of them all the way to 9. But again, it takes a lot of time to like create all of this. This took me a while. And so it goes all the way to 9. I don't do 12. I'm not sure if I want to do 12 because I'm not sure. Maybe I do 12. So then I have like different exercises to do the times table. So, 3 times what is equal to what? So how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So write down 5. So it'd be 5 here and then be 15. So this is just, answering questions. And again, this is my adding and subtracting the 3. So then if I give you the number, write this, right? If I give you the number, what's the answer? It's 3. So if I add 3, I go up or I go down, right? What does it look like? This would be, if I add 3 going up, it would be 12, right? Because it'd be 3 times, and then I plus the 1 up. But then if I go down this way, it'd still be 12, right? Because I'm adding a 3 to this. That's what I'm doing. So I was trying to get it to be flexible. And then there's the maze. And then there's color by number. And this is only just a 3 times table. And then in the 3 times table, I actually talk about division. So because in Abacus, we talk about division. The missing factor in Abacus is what we look at. But it's nice to see what the division looks like. So that was the thing. Yeah. So that's my thought. So those are my this is available if you're looking for the 3 times table. This is available also on Teachers Pay Teachers. I do plan to make it into a book, but it was going to be one book. It would be the 3 times table. So, oh, thank you. That looks really nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was just trying to get it to, the kids to be engaging and stuff, because it gets really monotonous to see all the numbers. So, but yeah, if there's any more questions, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sign off because I'm getting kind of hungry. But if there's any more questions, find me on my next live. Yeah, if you wanted to join my class, it's $20 a month, and you have all the videos, and I go step by step with all the things. Thanks for your time and doing all of that. Yeah, no problem. When's my next live? I'm not sure. Follow me and you'll get a notification. I go live all the time. Sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times, sometimes once a day. But yeah, and it always depends on the group of people, right? Depending on the group of people, if they're ready for multiplication, division. So if you have more questions, I'm happy to answer. But that's the idea. But yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Thank you again. Bye, everybody. Yes, go to sleep. Isn't it late for you? You're in. Yeah. Okay. Thank you again. Your silent students here. Yeah. Yeah, I do appreciate you. I see you and I appreciate you. I see you here. But yeah, Yasit, if you have any questions, if you are not understanding, just let me know and I'll take it a step back, okay? Don't be quiet. If you don't understand, I won't know that you don't understand, so I can continue on. But I'll see you in my next one, okay? Oh, it's only evening, so it's time for dinner. Okay, so you go have dinner. Oh yeah, Lady E is around your area too, because she's in Sweden. You're in Norway, yeah? Actually, I'm in the Philippines, but my home country is I'm in Illinois, but my home country is in the Philippines. Ah, fantastic. I grew up in Canada. It's early. It's here, 2 a.m. in Iceland. Yeah, see? It's so late. That was early. Was here, yes, 2 a.m. And you were still learning math. That's really early. All right. Okay. Iceland. I'm trying to remember where everybody is, because I know Lady E is in Sweden, and then Poyo is in Finland, and then I'm also from the Philippines. Oh, there you go. We travel. Yeah, Ethan's in the Philippines. Yeah, sometimes he catches. Yeah, he catches me all the time. I don't know when he sleeps. I know when I sleep. I don't know when he sleeps, because I know it's like super late or super early. Like right now, he was on. I don't know if he's on now, but he was on, and it's like 2 in the morning for him. But currently in Iceland. Yeah. Thank you so much for liking my live. All right, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you again, everybody, and I will see you guys in my next live. Yeah, follow me and then you'll get the notification. Mago Sheep. Hello, Mago Sheep. I'm about to sign off. I'm sorry. Thank you for liking my live. And Buddha. Buddha. Wow. Woohoo. Okay, thank you again. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Hopefully you enjoy your dinner. Okay, I'll see you guys in my next live. Bye.